Comedy Simp, the podcast you can't resist. Stephen Michael James, the host you won't wanna miss. From Seattle to the world, his humor will persist. Join the fun, get ready to enlist.
Spill the beer.
All right, are we ready?
Yeah, we are ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Comedy Simp Podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This
right.
is your boy, Stephen Michael James, here with returning guest, my buddy, Jake E.T. Jake, where
How
can
you
they
doing?
follow you, man?
Where can you follow me? Instagram, JakeET Comedy, and on Facebook, JakeET.
Jake E.T. And
Yep.
also, if people want to buy a house, hit me up.
Yeah.
You know, this guy
Connect
is also
with me about real estate, for sure.
In the old Snohomish County area. He will help you out, give you a good deal.
Well, actually, I got a listing I'm setting up tomorrow in Olympia, in Centralia.
Oh,
actually.
shoot.
So
Centralia.
I work
shout
everywhere.
out to Derek. I forgot his last. Derek Gladson.
Yeah.
He runs a mic down in Centralia called The Juice Box, and he has a podcast called Open Mic Heroes.
Really? I'll have to check
I am
that
going to
out.
be on in September.
Fun.
Centralia. I know. I've only been down there once, but yeah, man.
Centralia's nice. It's a lot of farmland and whatnot. It's a lot of open fields.
Jake,
But I like that.
how you doing, man? How's everything going?
My life is wild and crazy.
I know.
Everything's been.
I've been hanging out with Rob. Rob gives me little updates here and there. Rob Conroy, friend of
Yeah.
the show.
Shout out to Rob. Hey, Rob.
I mean, man, it's totally up to you how much you want to talk about your personal stuff. Let's just say, to keep it vague, you're going through some stuff right now. It's kind of tough, but you're also getting some newfound freedom in your life, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
and I don't mind saying that. I mean, actually, not even a lot of my family knows. They're going to find out at the big camping trip that's
Yeah.
coming up at the end of this month and whatnot. But yeah, after coming up on 20 years of marriage,
Yeah.
and we've been together for coming up on 24 years.
Yeah.
My wife and I have filed a divorce, so we're
Yeah.
separating. Yeah, so.
And
it's
man, that's a
it's a big transition.
long time, man. So what year did you get married?
We got together in 2001, literally right after 9/11.
Yeah.
Literally.
Wow.
A couple weeks after 9/11, and then we got married 4 years later.
Yeah.
So I think it's 24.
So what
Or
was
25.
before
Or
you met
05 rather.
Before you met her, man, what was your love life like at that time? Did you ever have any serious relationships before her?
Actually, I've always been a serious relationship person. Almost all my relationships have been multiple years.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Oh God.
Serial monogamy. Me too, man. I'm not really.
Yeah, I'm a codependent person.
I'm not a player. I know everybody thinks I am, and everybody. I mean, the people in my head. But no, man. I've been in long relationships. For years at a time. And so same with you.
I like relationships. I'm a relationship guy.
And this is very controversial, but I feel like you're on the same page with me. Hear me now. Hear me out.
Yeah.
I think it's better to sleep with a person that you're involved with in a relationship. And the reason is because when you're out there banging and stuff like that, sure, it's fun, but there's always an awkwardness. Once you develop a comfort with somebody and they start to understand what you like and what they
Post-nut
like.
clarity is definitely different when somebody you're in love with, for sure.
And it's it's kind of, I don't know, man. I just feel like every relationship that I've been in, it's been that situation where, I enjoyed it because, it's comfortable being with the same person who knows you and all that. I mean, also, it's also nice going out and having a random fling here or there, right?
Okay, so I got with my wife when I was 25.
Yeah.
So
I got with mine when I was 26.
I've literally been with the same one woman for 24 years. So
Yeah.
I don't even recall what it's going to be like. I don't. It's going to take me a little while to get back in the dating. Honestly,
it's a different. It's a weird. It's definitely way different than when we were in when I was in high school, you were that. How old are you, man?
I'm 49. I'll be 50.
So you're
there was no Facebook. There was no internet. There was no phones.
You're like my brother's age because my brother's 9 years older than me. So shout out Joe, Goshen Market. Eugene, Oregon. But yeah, I mean, so during the time when you went to high school, then the music and stuff was kind of like the grunge. It was the it was like the gangster rap and all that kind of stuff. And like when I went to high school, it was like that 2000, 2001. But yeah, man, during that time, I mean, I've said this before, but it was like, remember calling girls' houses, having to talk to the dad and be like, hey, is her so-and-so home? And it was always
it was
nervous.
Totally different. You didn't
nerve-wracking.
connect or swipe or do any of that shit.
Or like you would be on the, like, sometimes, I mean, I don't know if people do it now. I'm sure some of them do. I never talk on the phone, but I used to talk on the phone for hours with girls, man.
The coolest shit happened to me the other day.
Yeah?
And this hasn't happened to me in a long, long time, but I was middle of the day, driving in my truck. I got the window down. I got the music up and everything. And these two black girls rolled up next to me, and I just kind of, I wasn't, doing it. I just kind of gave them a nod, like, hey, what's up, and everything. And when we got to the light, we stopped, and the passenger jumped out, and she goes, my friend wanted you to have this, and she handed me her number. It was written on like a Walmart receipt.
Nice.
And I was like, oh my God, somebody actually handed me their number. And I was like, oh, this is cool. So I did send her a text.
Yeah.
I waited a couple days, and I sent her a text, and I can read it to you. But basically I said, I hadn't had a compliment like that in a long time. That was very nice. But because of my situation, I'm not going to text you again.
Yeah.
But I just want to say thank you. I didn't want to leave you hanging. But it was really cool. So
did she respond or?
She responded. Yeah, she
nice,
responded
nice.
I was a driver, so you probably didn't see me. But thank you, and whatnot.
And
it was a cool
she'll
exchange.
follow you on Instagram at
she'll probably
Comedy.
she'll probably stalk.
She'll see this.
We'll see.
Dude, this is.
I remember seeing the driver. She was actually pretty cute.
I think arguably, I feel like this is the most popular podcast in this comedy scene. There are some podcasts that have some more views and stuff, but this one consistently, like, everybody, like, I've met a lot of people that are like, oh, you're the guy that does the podcast, and then the last one got a lot of views. So, who knows,
you're a cool
man?
cat, dude. You're a cool character.
That lady, she might see this. She might follow you on comedy.
Yeah, you never know.
On
You never know.
Instagram, and then who knows? It could be a match made in heaven.
It was that, I don't know that, but it was a good little ego boost, which kind of right now I need. Going through this, I kind of need to feel good about stuff. It's What
I was trying to get to though is it's like, it's hard to even imagine what it would be out there for you, because it's like, a lot of the women that are, let's be honest, when they're at that age, they have been burned by some really bad guys, and they just really, I feel like a lot of older women, don't want to. Well, and to be fair, a lot of guys at that age are also pieces of shit. But most women that age, it's like they've kind of given up, a little bit,
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people have been through so much shit, it either kind of makes you more of a piece of shit or better. Like it kind of changes you one direction or the other for a lot of people. Or you just
don't want to deal anymore. You just don't even want to try. And I've been there. I feel like I've been to that moment. But that's really cool, though, that you feel. I mean, it sounds like that. Even though everything that you're going through, that you still might be open to another long-term thing someday.
Someday down the road and everything. You know what I mean?
We got a lot of years left,
I got kids and everything to think about too. So no, but I'm not looking at doing anything long-term.
Yeah. How are the kids doing?
Kids are doing good. Matter of fact, today is my son's 16th birthday. Happy birthday, Nick!
Happy birthday, Nick!
No,
hell yeah!
He's doing some stuff.
Did he request anything special for his birthday?
He wanted me to make fun of him a little bit at my set tonight. No. God, what did he get? He's been playing guitar. He's been playing guitar in his room every day after room.
What kind of stuff does he play?
He's doing a lot of Metallica. He's learning a lot of Metallica riffs.
That's me when I was 16. Exactly.
He likes to play fast.
Yeah.
He likes to play fast and hard.
That's cool.
But I think that's one of the things about, not being a great dad or whatever. That he's got a lot of time. Like he stays in his room and I'm just But he practices a lot. So that's really exciting. And so he got a new amp for his birthday.
Nice.
For his 16th birthday, he got a new amp that sounds really good, and it hooks to his computer, so he can change things on his computer with it and everything. And that's kind of what what my wife, his mom, picked out for him. I picked out something different. I got him, the punching bag, the heavy bags. Yeah. Not the hanging ones, but the floor ones where you put it in a base and you weight the base down.
Yeah, yeah.
Like a full kickboxing thing. I found a couple used ones for a good price, and I went and picked them up.
Nice.
So now we have 2 full-on kickboxing.
Hell yeah, that'll get you some stress out. You know,
Yeah,
for sure.
that's what I'm thinking. So I'm going to get him some gloves
Yeah.
too. But yeah, and like even if I piss him off, I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, let's go out into the thing. You know, I got a bag, you got a bag. I'll even put my face on your bag if you want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's awesome. And how about the other kid?
The other one, who's that? No, I'm just my daughter's doing good. She's 13. She's
Oh man, what a tough age.
social butterfly.
I'm so afraid of my daughter being that age. She's
Yeah.
just 7. She just turned 7, so I still got some time. But yeah, man, that's a tough.
7. They're still really just
13
cute
is
and innocent
tough,
for the
man.
most part.
There's a lady at my work who has a daughter of that age, and the kid's getting bullied by
Yeah.
other kids at school.
Oh yeah, the
and,
online bullying and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's weird. Daughter's relationships with mom is
Yeah.
so much different than the dad's. Like,
Yeah.
she actually shows me respect and stuff like that. And my wife and her argue all the time. Like
Yeah.
the way they talk to each other is crazy to me.
Yeah.
And, but I'm not going to get in the middle of, you know what I mean? You can't get in the middle of a mother-daughter relationship.
Yeah,
Whatnot.
for sure.
So, but no, she's doing really good. She respects me when I ask her to do stuff. She does it. She asks me before she goes and does stuff.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Well-
It'd be just fun.
I think the last time I saw you was maybe like 3-4 weeks ago. You were at Emerald City Comedy Club.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're sitting there. I believe it was the second week. So
Yeah.
first week I was there. It was the first week they had their
I
open
like
mic.
how they redid that place.
First
Congrats
of all-
to Jess and Dane.
Yeah, and whoever else owns
And
that.
whoever else does it, participate, yeah.
I was just there the other day, and we could talk about that. But the first week, it was the first open mic, and the way it works, I just want to explain this for, the thing about Comedy Simp, buddy, is not only is this an entertainment podcast, this is a learning,
Educational,
this is an educational podcast for open mic comics, new open mic comics. I know I got a lot of open micers that watch this.
Yeah.
Last episode, 330 views. Hey, Juggalo Jake, whoop whoop.
Yeah.
But
And actually, I would suggest if you're watching this as an open micer and you have questions, put them in underneath in the comments.
Put a comment, leave a comment.
Stephen
help
Michael
the
James will take
algorithm,
care of you.
Hit that bell for notifications.
Yeah. Well, and you're good at answering questions just because you've talked to a lot of people and you
Yeah.
kind of know
The only
what's going
problem
on.
is I get high and then I forget what I'm talking about because I go on a rant and I'm also drinking beer.
It kind of happens. That's all right.
Where was I though? I was saying something about
The ECC.
Perfect. There. Thank you. That's what you're here for. This is how it works for comics if you want to know how to sign up. Okay. You have until the 22nd of the current month to sign up for the following month. So, guys, you have until June 22nd to sign up for July.
That makes sense. All right.
When they post the list, they will post it on the first of the month. So July 1st, they will post the 4, Tuesdays of the week. And the first 8 spots will be people that submitted online. It's a random pick. You never know who it's going to be. But they're going to post the list. But
So
here's the thing. After the first 8 comics, then they're going to have 4 spots for employees. So
Okay.
right now I've seen people like Mike DeVore and Kevin Hahn.
is Zach still working there?
Zach, I think, works at Club Comedy. I don't know if he works at ECC.
Oh, no, that's right. That's right. He works at the yeah. Sorry.
And
Get my clubs mixed up.
So you have your online list, 8 people, 4 employees, and then the bucket, 15 spots. How that works is you show up at 6 o'clock, doors open, there's the bucket, throw your name in the bucket, 6:45.
Yep.
They should be pulling all the names and drawing them, and the last 15 people on the list get added on.
Yep.
So first week I was there, I put my name in the bucket because I didn't get picked for the first month, and I had a okay set. I had all my best material, all the stuff that killed in Tacoma. Got about 2 laughs.
Yeah.
And then I showed up the following week. You were there, put my name in the bucket, didn't make it. What happened?
I made it on the bucket that night.
You made it on the bucket. What was your experience doing comedy for the first time on the new stage?
I like the room. I like how size of it is. I like the stage. Everything is big.
The air conditioning is
by the
wonderful.
By the time I got up, though, honestly, there was And this is with it. There was just
Yeah.
open mic people there,
Yeah.
and the open mic people that just basically haven't gone yet.
Yeah.
So that's who I got. But I got a couple laughs. You know what I mean? I did my material. But I like it. I think it's worth going to.
Yeah, well, first of all, I mean, it's a professional comedy club.
Yeah.
And it's always good, open micers, to show your face at a professional comedy club because you never know who's going to be there. You never know who's going to see you.
Yeah.
You know,
even if you're doing the 3 open micers, if you're performing, I mean, you got to perform
Yeah.
it like you're performing it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's actually one of the best times to perform it like you're performing it, just because.
Yeah.
Just get up there and act it out.
Now, I will say, it feels like there's a little open mic competition between ECCC and Club Comedy because they both happen right around the same time. And so, like, if you don't make the list at ECCC, you could go to Club Comedy and probably make the bucket list because...
Well, you used to be able to sign up for both.
Yeah. Well, now,
But they changed. One of them changed the time a little bit.
Well, right now, if you go up early enough at the first club, you can go to the second club as well.
Okay.
I'm seeing a lot of bounce back and forth. But yeah, I would say, and just to continue, I went 2 days ago, so the day before yesterday, me and Rob Conroy. Rob was on the online list. I put my name in the bucket. There was not a lot of people there. You know, it was... I'm really disappointed in some of these comics, and that's why I'm explaining how they do the list. So perhaps this doesn't happen in the future, but I would say at least 3 or 4 people that were on the list didn't show up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and Robert Pinner, who was supposed to run the light, he didn't even know he was on it. So, you know, it's not to anybody's fault. It's just it's a new system. They're trying to figure it out, but. I would say I had less people than the first time I went up, and it was a way better set. Even Rob got some laughs, and he had some stuff that was pretty non-Capitol Hill. But, yeah, there was these 2 gay dudes that were together, and they were awesome. They both had...
They did a duo set?
No, they were just in the audience, like together watching,
gotcha.
watching the show, and they had... sleeveless shirts on, like they had like Marlboro and like Budweiser. They had mullets, they had mustaches.
Nice.
They looked like they were both out of 1992, you know, and they were together having a good time, and they laughed at all the jokes, and they were just...
See, that's a good Seattle audience. That's what you want.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, you just never know, man. It's like, the first time I went up, I had a bigger audience, 2 laughs.
Mm-hmm.
Second time I went up, about half of that audience, the place is dead, and they loved it, you know. So
yeah, you never can tell.
It's all about mood, you know.
Yeah. Well, a couple so with the divorce going on, I got some divorce jokes. I mean, obviously it's what happens in my life right now. And it really depends on who's in the crowd, whether they hit or miss.
Yeah.
I mean, so I don't know, because even people that haven't been divorced, there's still funny jokes, but. I did do the Comedy Bar.
Yeah.
At one of their open mics recently. Well, I submitted and I got on the list for the open mic, but
wait,
the Comedy Bar one with the smaller room.
Comedy Bar. Wait, what?
The Comedy Bar.
Comedy Bar.
Or yeah.
No, that's Emerald City.
Which one? Okay, so
what's Club Comedy?
Club Comedy.
Club
See,
Comedy.
I get them mixed up all the time.
Rick, Club Comedy.
Yeah, the other one, other than the one where ECC. Yeah, that one. I got on the list and I did that mic. And, maybe there was like 10, 12 people in the crowd other than the open micers.
Yeah.
Young, old. I mean, it was a pretty mixed group. But yeah, it was a good time. And they record the videos, and I got the recording of that. That's actually one that I might send in for a 5-minute clip. Mm-hmm. It was good enough for that.
Yeah, I recently had a little bit of controversy because I talked some shit online. You know, I try not to do that. But I really just had to say something because, look, man,
I'm not compelled.
I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert when it comes to like online, and I'm not an expert when it comes to going viral. I mean, I don't have as many followers as a lot of these other people. However, I do know some basic facts, and one of the facts is when you post online, you should always post one thing.
Okay.
You know, the reason is, and this is how the algorithm only think about it like this, man. Like on YouTube, there is like 1 billion videos being uploaded every day.
Okay.
And there's only so much bandwidth that they're only going to show you so much stuff. So what they do is they take these videos and they look for people that are basically they think are going to like that video. You know, like if it's a comedy video, Seattle, you know, kind of crazy off the wall type people. Like they look at their history, they look at the kind of podcasts they watch, the kind of activity they have, and they push the videos.
Do you think it's real quick? I'm gonna cut in real
Yeah.
quick. But do you think it's a person doing that, or it's AI, or
It's-
a program, or
I
just
think it's
an
AI.
algorithm?
I think it's AI. you
Isn't
know?
it-
I
it's
think
kinda
it's,
doing
I
that
think
right
it's
now?
just the yeah. I think it's always been that way.
Okay.
So how I can explain it is, YouTube is like a river, right? And there's so many fish in this river, you can't even see the water. The fish are just all piled on top of each other, flowing down the river.
Grab a net and let's eat.
Every once in a while, one of them jumps up in the air and you see it and you're like, that's a cool fish. You know, I like that fish. I think I want to see that fish again. I'm going to subscribe to that fish, you know? But if you're trying to get greedy and you post multiple fishes in the river, well, only one of them's going to get to the top because there's so many fish, you know? And the river's only so wide. So I don't know if that's a good analogy or not, but it's just...
No, I see what you're saying.
What I'm saying is, if you push 2 videos online, the algorithm is going to favor one and the other one's going to get no views. So what's happening is there's this, the people that do the Make Me Famous in Tacoma Comedy Club. And I think I talked to somebody, I know who it is, and let me get this straight because this is a popular podcast. No disrespect to the guy that films it, no disrespect to the guy that uploads it. They're awesome, really professionally shot videos that they put online, these comedy sets. People like, you know, Logan Cantrell and Jess Anderson and Brandon White and Mason A. All these really good Tacoma comedy people. Adam Tiller, Quinn Fitzgerald, our boys up in Everett, you know.
Having a good video makes a big difference, man.
know?
Having a bunch of good videos makes a big
But
difference.
the problem is what's happening is
I
the
think,
guys are posting like 6 different sets at once, and then like one of them might get like 50 views and then the other ones get like 5. And it's like, and they are really nice professional
And you think
looking-
that's because of the timing and
Yes,
the scheduling rather
absolutely.
than the
Yeah.
content?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's got to be better, even like if
And
it's
there's-
hours, there's got to be better days and,
there-
better
there-
times a month.
there is
and
absolutely, and it's always changing.
I'm sure there's metrics on that. Can
You
you,
know?
just look that up on YouTube?
Yeah,
the metrics.
And you could go to like the thing that you should do the most is if you have a YouTube channel, you have an Instagram, you should look at your own analytics. That way you can see like the people that watch your stuff and when they watch it.
Okay.
However, you could always go on to ChatGPT and say, when is the best time to post a video in Seattle? And that's important to put that because, you know, you could, if they, generally you say, when's the best time to post a video? They might say 3 o'clock, but they're talking about 3 o'clock in New York. Not 3 o'clock.
Okay, yeah.
You know?
So you got to make sure the prompt is specific.
Yeah, and if, you know, you can get deeper and deeper into the AI stuff and,
Which
I don't-
AI, do you use an AI conversation bot or whatever to
I
ask
use all
questions?
sorts of stuff.
Do you
man.
use?
I love technology. I use AI generators, music. I use ChatGPT. It doesn't really work for comedy, but what I say what it will do is it's really good for like making posts online. So I'll be
Okay.
like, I'll write a little post and stuff, and then
It'll fluff it up for you.
I'll say like, you know, add some emojis in there, or you know, make it all capital or something just to save time.
Yeah.
And then you could also say like, you know, kind of make it, add a little joke here or there. Most of the time, if you have it add a joke, it's a terrible
joke. No, I've asked it to tell jokes
Yeah.
and everything. It's terrible.
But every once in a while, it'll get something like clever, and it's there's tools. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, 9 Inch Nails. We grew up with that music. Trent Reznor. You know, everyone's like, industrial music is all about like sampling other people's stuff, and he's like, well, look, man. I mean, yeah, I use samples, but I also have the basics. I learned how to play my instrument, and that's what you know. So it's like this. Yeah, that's what I'm saying about like the AI and all that kind of stuff. Like, don't rely on it, but you can use it as a tool to enhance.
I completely
things,
agree. No, out of the AIs, the Chat GPT I used a few times, and then I ended up trying out the Grok one on X, and it's pretty good. I like how Grok responds.
Grok makes good
a little bit
celebrity
better.
images. That's the best
Does
one.
it?
If you want to make a Donald Trump image or an Elon Musk image, go to Grok because they're like perfect.
See, I haven't messed with the images or
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
I just tell it, Grok, I'm a lonely middle-aged man. I need a friend. Talk to me like a friend.
Yeah.
and then it just talks to me like a friend. It just say, hey, you're a good guy, and that's how I use it.
So-
No, it's good. It's good to ask questions, general
Yeah.
questions, medical questions. It's like I'm not a
Oh
doctor,
yeah,
but
that's another one that I
you
think.
can't ask it that stuff. It's fairly accurate.
Yeah, this is actually one of the most important tools I've ever used, and that is like when I got my surgery. I had a hernia surgery. It was the summary was so like technical. I couldn't even understand what they were talking. Like it was so all these words I never heard of. So I uploaded the document and I said, "Explain this to me in layman's terms," and it did. And it was like, so we put 3 holes in you, and then we put the mesh in you, and then we sealed you up, and it's like, oh, okay, but it was from that I discovered I actually had 2 hernias, but nobody ever said that because they didn't know. They didn't know until I got the surgery, but.
Yeah, it's as good as any
Yeah.
conversation you could have with a actual fairly intelligent person.
Yeah.
Like sitting at a restaurant or at a bar or whatever. If they were actually fairly intelligent, it's as good as any conversation like that with them as far as responses go. So I don't know. I try to use it for some stuff.
So you hit any other mics since then? The Emerald City thing. You did club comedy after that.
So I did club comedy after that, and I gotta say, I had a good time. I practiced during the day.
Yeah.
Got shout outs to Rob again. Rob came over that day and just sat there with me while I fucking practiced my shit. So
Nice.
I had, just some company. And I practiced it, and it went over pretty good. I forgot one of the bits I was gonna do in the middle of it, but I used my whole time anyway. So it was good. And I got a recording of it. But there's only like 10 or 12 people, so you can hear laughter. So it's not like a great recording, but it's a decent enough recording to send off for 5-minute auditions.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
And I have way more than 5 minutes worth of material. I mean, I got
That's-
a decent amount of material.
The hardest thing about open mics, and that's at the clubs, open mics at the clubs, and that's why a lot of our friends, we never see them at the clubs because they don't want to do 3 minutes. But
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I feel like, I guess everybody's on their own journey, but I feel like it's important to show your face at certain places. Like Tacoma is such a far drive for me. It's like an hour and a half, but I sign up every month because I want to get booked down there. I want to do shows, and those people down there are like the audiences are awesome.
Yeah.
Six and Proctor.
Yeah.
Holy cow, man! That room.
They're both fun rooms. Yeah.
Yeah. The big room's a little tougher because But if there's a big audience there, then it's awesome.
Well, and what I've noticed is that is really, if there's one thing I've learned from being an open micer for a couple years, if you want to be a regular at a place, you have to show up. You know what I mean? That's the difference. Is you can't just apply and go to a place once a month and become like a thing there.
Yeah.
You literally have to go to their open mics. You have to show up. You have to, and that's
Book
just
it,
anything
spot.
in life
Yeah.
too. You are as much. No one's going to be begging you to do stuff. Not until other people are relying on their income, relying on you making their income.
Mm-hmm.
That's when people force you to do shit. That's when people call you and wake you up and be like, hey, dude, you got to go do this. But until somebody else is making a living off your living, you're as much of anything as you make yourself part of it.
Yeah, for sure.
It's literally you are as much of it as you choose to be, not just by wanting it, but by actually doing it. So if you show up 3 times a week at a club, they're going to book you. You know what I mean? I'm assuming you're decent.
Yeah.
But it's just, you really have to show up. And that's what the guy at Club Comedy said. He's like, yeah, everybody was good. We don't really do a pass-fail. It was one of those. It was an audition night.
Dude,
It was an audition
You were
night.
at okay. Now I remember. He did 2 audition nights, right?
Yeah, he did an audition
You did the
night.
Sunday one.
Yep. Yeah, and you did the Thursday
I
one.
did the Thursday one.
How did yours go there?
Okay. Good.
Mine went
we
well.
can
It was those
discuss
two.
this. Nice. So, first of all, it was not a. The term audition is used very loosely, But
It was like an open mic that they paid a lot more. They paid more attention to.
and how
It was basically.
I explained this to like my mom, my wife, somebody I was talking to, where I was like, you know, every Tuesday, there's up until recently when the other club did their open mic, there was like 30 to 35 comics every Tuesday.
Yeah.
And then on the Wednesday open mic, there's 30. And I know there's just no way Rick is going to sit there and watch everybody for, an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah.
He's got other stuff to do. He's running the club. He wants to talk. Some people are on stage that he knows he doesn't want to watch, So this was one of those things where he's like, all right, if you want my attention, send me an email. I'll have you come on this night, and I'll pay attention.
Yep.
And that's what it was.
Yeah, exactly. The open mic that he paid more attention to.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it felt
And we
like
had
to me, too.
more minutes too. I think. Well,
Yeah.
I think we had
Five or
five
whatever, yeah.
instead of 3. But
Yeah.
my night, there, there's probably about 7 paying customers in there, which is still, I think, pretty cool that 7 people would pay to watch a bunch of unknown comics.
Yeah.
Whereas like the other club, Emerald City, they don't have anything like that right now. Their open mic is free. So interesting. But I mean, everybody on my night did pretty well. But there wasn't a lot of people, so it's kind of hard to gauge. But I feel
But
like.
how did you feel about your performance? Did you act out your bits
Yeah, I
like
thought I did.
they should be performed? Did you perform like they should be performed with all the little nuances that you wanted to put in?
I think I was probably like 85% happy with it.
Yeah?
That's the best way to put it.
And did you record it and watch it later?
Yeah, I recorded it. I don't know if I've watched it yet, but I had another set recently that was just so good that it just makes that one just not feel like nothing.
Yeah.
Like I had one of those sets with a full room that just you
lit up.
You
Yeah.
just die for. It's like what you're waiting for.
Yeah. Somebody was telling me, like, the most important part about doing your trade is record your sets. And I'm like, no, that's not the most. The thing at least a little bit more important than that is watch them later. I have a ton of videos I've recorded but I haven't watched. And it doesn't help. It doesn't do anything if you just record
I know
them.
I don't do it as much anymore, but sometimes I will. When I'm driving home from a show, I'll listen to it in the car, and just to hear it and say, was it as good as I remember? Sometimes it was.
I do it on both ends.
Yeah.
If it's just like a medium set, I don't listen to it.
Yeah.
If I think I did really good, I listen to it, or if I think I did really bad.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll listen to those ones just to be like, was that pause I took in the middle as long as I thought? And you know what I find out? Like if I take a pause, like I'm trying to think of something, it seems way longer in my head than it actually is. Like it might be literally like a 1 or 2 second pause on the camera.
Yeah.
Where for me in my head it seemed like 30 seconds had gone by. So that's kind of one of the things I've learned from watching it. I like watching myself doing it. It's hard, but
I think it's
important.
I think it's absolutely important. There's some people that don't film their sets. And I don't know. I mean, I guess if you go out every night, or if you go out 5 times a week, maybe you don't need to film it, but I don't have that luxury right now in my life. So, to listen back on it, it's almost like doing it again.
Yeah.
And also it's I think you're getting something that the people who don't film their sets are missing out on. You're seeing, I just asked, I posted this set and I had a couple comics look at it and give me a few notes. And they gave me some notes that, I never thought about, things that I would have never saw myself, like the way I talk, with the way my voice is, or I look like a youth pastor. Shout out Narin. But, it's, like I said,
it's good to get
weird.
Perspective.
It's just, I don't know.
Unless you're totally happy with who you are, then perspectives can kind of throw you off your game sometimes.
Now, how do you feel about like posting stuff? And I know you don't post to stuff very often, but like,
I would love to have somebody that rolled with me. I mean, ultimately, I would love to do it myself, but I'm not going to do that at least
Corey
now.
Hill.
I would love for somebody to roll with me, help me record my shit, edit it, and post it online. But I would do that for so many different things throughout my life. Like I need to post more shit as far as real estate goes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just out showing houses, talking about real estate, just sharing little bits of knowledge that I had, like 30-second clips of knowledge.
Yeah.
How to clean up your credit report, shit like that. Like I know a lot of that shit, how to help people get into a house for the first time they didn't think, you know. So
Yeah.
But recording that, I need to record a lot more shit and post it online. I would love to do it, but
Well, I was listening.
and you know what? With my new iPhone, I'm taking classes at the Y. So
that?
that's a big thing. I told it as a joke, but so the joke is after 25 years and my wife telling me numerous times that I probably should switch teams, my children telling me I should switch teams, some of my good friends have been like, Jacob, you need to switch teams with the divorce. I switched from Android to Apple. It's been probably the biggest switch out of the whole divorce.
Welcome to the fold. All right.
But they have
welcome to the
classes.
Illuminati.
They have classes at like the Lenwood Apple Store and whatnot, where they can teach you how to take a film proper way with showing you all the options.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
So hopefully I'll be able to do a little bit better filming with the iPhone.
The iPhone is it's pretty good camera. You know, some Samsungs are better, but the iPhone, I mean, that's what we're filming on now, people.
Dude, mine's got 3 cameras on the back. It's weird.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I got the same one. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna be buying a new phone for a while because the tariffs, baby. The tariffs are taking over. You know.
Yeah. Well, I use my phone is like my last phone. I had an Android. I think I had it for 6 years. Like I keep my phone for a while.
I do. Yes.
I don't replace phones every year. That's so.
We're not rich, all right.
By this time I got the watch too.
Oh, you got an Apple Watch?
I got the Apple Watch. So this is actually it's really cool, man. It has a lot of cool metrics for like your health and stuff, and it watches my sleep patterns.
I wish that we should.
I'm a horrible sleeper, dude.
Have a monitor that monitors our blood alcohol level as we drink.
I asked him about that.
That would be great.
I asked that guy at the Apple Store when we were doing a watch class, and I said, do they have a BAC thing on it? Yeah. And he's like, no, but that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if you just pressed a button and it calculated your BAC? You're like, cool.
I think it will soon. At Tacoma Comedy Club, they actually have a breathalyzer thing in the hallway.
Oh yeah.
When you come out of the bathroom.
I have one in my truck.
Yeah.
Not connected to my truck. Not connected to my truck. No, I have one in my glove box that I can like a bar play one.
So
just to find out.
What's the plan? What do you want to do next, man? I mean, obviously you got a lot of stuff. Got a lot of stuff you're going through, but like comedy, you know, what's
comedy wise? No, I plan on. I'm jumping into comedy more as it is. You know, with honestly, with my wife moving out, the kids are going to be with her half the time.
Yeah.
We're going to do right now. Everything's being worked out, so I don't want to talk about too many of the details. But we're basically going to do 50-50 with the kids, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, kind of thing. So I'll have a lot of time to do comedy. You know what I mean? Real estate and comedy is basically going to be my life. But I would love to do some road trips. I would love to like cruise down to Portland.
There's so much stuff there. There's, I mean, just outside of
I would love to do that.
Just outside of Tacoma, there's all these little towns here or there that have comedy shows, a couple mics. Bellingham's got something. Idaho, Post Falls, Idaho, Spokane. One day I want to sign up for the Spokane open mic and take a road trip out there.
Dude, if you do, let me know, and I'll try to get on the bucket. And you know, I bet a lot of times if somebody's on the list, and they're with somebody that is, you know what I mean, another comic, they'll probably put them on the bucket.
I'm sure. I think it might be a good idea is if anybody wanted to do it with me, like when you sign up, say, hey, I'm traveling from Seattle with this person. They're also signing up. I bet you.
They'd probably put you both.
They'd be like, let's put them both on the same night. Why not?
I would love to do stuff like that. So
there's some really funny comics from Spokane. I've only been to Spokane one time. Or actually, I've been there twice. I've only seen a comedy there once, though.
Yeah.
And some of the comics that I saw that night at the open mic are like, they're pretty much headliners over there. There's this guy, Chris Jessup. He came down and did the Tacoma, the comedy voice competition. There's this guy named Stephen Kaplan. There's Harry J. Riley. He's funny. Laura, I don't know. I forget her last name. Laura, I think is her name. She's a blonde. She's pretty hot for a MILF, you know, for an old lady. Or
but those are all regulars.
She's not an old lady. I didn't mean to say that. For, somebody who's a little older
for
than
a mature woman.
Yeah, but she And
So those are regulars, big over in Spokane.
those are all regulars.
I would love to cruise over there and do that.
yeah.
It'd be fun.
But
It'd be
dude,
fun.
Chris Jessup is hilarious. He's like bald. He has glasses, a mustache. And when I saw him in Tacoma, he had this jacket that was like, you know, those cars that everywhere you look, it's like a different color. Like he had a jacket like that. It was. It
Oh,
was
yeah, the
pretty
reflective
Yeah,
little
yeah,
thing,
it was
yeah.
pretty sick. And he's a really
cool.
funny guy. Spokane,
So road trips.
Vegas. Gotta go to
Vegas.
Vegas.
Oh, I'm going down to Skank Fest. I think like
In
Danny,
New Orleans?
Danny, yeah, New Orleans. I already got my tickets.
Whoa,
Danny Trevorrow and I are going down there.
Wow. Nice. See, this is where you need a cameraman.
Last
Film
time
you
I was
guys.
last time I was on the website, it didn't have a anything to click on to sign up to
Yeah.
be in it. It was just like vendor availability and whatnot. But I volunteer. I put in my volunteer, so I'm like, I'll be there for regardless. I'm coming.
Yeah.
I'm coming from out of state. If you need me to volunteer at a booth for a few hours, they give you a full pass for the thing. So I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. So I don't know. I haven't got an email back, but
Yeah.
that'd be cool. But yeah, it would be my first time down in New Orleans.
Dude, yeah, I've never been down there either. I've always wanted to go, but yeah, man. Skank.
DCJ said he's been down there, so he knows
Yeah.
a little bit. But like, I think I want to be there once before I go there for Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
I want to check it out and find
Mardi
and figure
Gras
out where
is
I want to be
insane,
before I go there for Mardi Gras. So yeah, I got the right place to rent.
Skankfest has really turned into something, man. It's
only
just,
in Vegas, isn't it? Last
well,
few
they've
years.
done it in New York and Vegas.
Okay.
But yeah, it's insane, man. Like the amount of
It's like
big
November
name-
13th and 14th or something like that.
It's like God, man, it's like the Lollapalooza of comedy, you know,
Yeah,
like
sounds like it'd be
every
fun.
big name comic, every crazy edgy comic. I mean, like one year Ari Shaffir was there taking a shit on stage. Like you can't get away with that in
I'm
Seattle.
not sure if I need to see that.
Yeah.
But great. You know, that's real comedy. Acting out. No, it's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it. And that's one comedy trip I have planned. The other thing with comics is like last year we did it. I think we did it a couple times. It's different groups, but if you do you go floating? You like inner tube floating down the river?
I've
So
never
we're gonna go
done. I've done
Snoqualmie
it.
River.
I did it when I was a kid. I have never.
Oh, you
I
gotta
haven't
go with
done
us
it
this
as an
time, dude.
adult.
We're gonna Snoqualmie River, right in fucking. They got a little parking lot there,
I always
and we
thought it would
shuttle
be
everybody.
really,
It's like a 3.5
I always thought
hour
it'd be
float.
fun.
It's so much fun.
I thought it'd be so fun, you know, like you drop somebody off, and then you.
Well, there'd be
float.
like 20 of us
Yeah.
going. There's a whole bunch of comics that go,
Nice.
and we all load up at the top and then bus everybody back and forth until everybody's ready. and-
Who went with you on one of these trips?
Oh God, Noah went, Erica.
Noah went.
Noah Wen went.
Erica Tosh.
Erica Tausch.
She's gonna be at the Tapped Out Comedy, June 14th. I'm hosting.
Marianne went.
Shout
There's
out.
a bunch of there was
Maria
I think
Elizabeth?
Maria was there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's like 18, 20 of us comics
Holy
that
cow.
all floated down the rivers. It was a great day.
Yeah.
It was a great
Pretty
day for
warm.
comics just to hang
How's
out.
the water? Cold.
It's not bad.
Yeah?
It's good.
Yeah, I grew up in California, man. So like,
It's a fun float.
The water up here is like.
It was chilly.
Yeah. Plus, I'm just getting older. I feel like every time I'm cold, like my whole body cramps up, and I'm just like walking around like the Crypt Keeper.
Well, I'm working on my scuba diving business too. And up in here, you definitely like if it's during anything other than the summer, you have to have a dry suit.
Yeah.
Or you can't.
So I don't know much about scuba. What's the difference between a wetsuit and a dry suit? You know? I didn't even know there was a dry suit.
yeah, well, it's pretty simple. Okay, so a wetsuit is a neoprene like a.
I've worn
You-
one
you've
of
seen a
those. I've
wetsuit,
gone river rafting, and we all put wetsuits on and got
And what
in the-
happens? The water gets in it,
Yeah.
and then your body heats the water between you and the suit,
Yeah.
and that's how you stay warm.
Uh-huh.
So even if a little water comes in, it heats up fairly fast, and that's how you stay warm. A dry suit is actually it's cuffed at the wrist
Yeah.
and the neck, and it's got
So no
booties.
water gets in.
No water goes in at all. So you dress for
like
the
that.
temperature of the water you're going in. So
Yeah.
you put on thermals and stuff underneath. Well, if you're going to be working,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But you dress for the temperature, and then it keeps you dry.
Yeah.
But like so we floated on the river with dry suits before, and you fall in, and if you're just wearing like a basic underwear, you know what I mean, basic
Yeah.
clothes, one layer underneath, the water it's cold. Like it will not save you from from the temperature if you're not dressed underneath it.
You're dry, but it feels like you're in a freezer or something.
It feels like you're in a freezer.
Holy
but
cow.
The thing about it is, as soon as you get to shore, you're dry. You're not wet. So there's a give and take to it. I can't, honestly, the dry suit, it chokes you. Like, I'm not into being choked. Are you into being choked?
No.
You're not into being choked? I've never been in it. This is like being choked by it's like being choked by like a weak midget. For real. It's just it's just a constant pressure. Like, it's bad.
I feel like
not enough to make your orgasm good, though.
You know, man, I like punk rock. I bleach my hair. I play guitar. But yeah, I feel like I'm more conservative than most of the people in Seattle. Like, I don't I'm just not into the BDSM kind of stuff. I'm just like, I think I'm pretty normal. You know, it's like, toys are fine, but like, I don't need anything like crazy out of the ordinary. But yeah, there's some people that like the choking and spitting and the punching in the face.
Yeah, that's a little bit like donkey punch. Yeah, that's a little much for you,
dude. I've never seen the movie. But there's a trailer. I'm gonna link it in the description for a movie from like the 2000s. It's called Donkey Punch, and it's about these people. Like, the trailer is so awesome. So it's like these young people. They're like in their 20s, guys and girls, that go out on a boat in the middle of the ocean. They're drinking, they're partying. Some stuff goes down. People hook up. One guy does a donkey punch on the girl, and she dies. And the whole movie is about them trying to figure out what to do. And like, people get killed. And I'm like, and then it's this serious. They don't even tell you the name of the movie. And then it's this serious trailer. And then all of a sudden, it's just like the words come up, donkey punch. And it's just like, I cannot believe that was a movie. They've made a movie about everything.
So, yeah, well, I mean, could you imagine? So imagine, first of all, you're one of the people on the boat, right?
Yeah.
So there's two different scenarios right there. You're on the boat, and then the guy comes up and he's like, "Hey guys, gotta tell you something."
Yeah.
Or you're in the same room with them.
Yeah.
And you watch him punch her, and then she just dies in front of you while he's inside of her.
Yeah.
And yeah. You're just like, okay, what do we do now? Like,
what kind of depraved person came up with this, you know?
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's been a couple. I mean, I've had girlfriends before my wife that I thought about donkey. Like, I just wanted.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't during sex that I wanted donkey.
We didn't follow through. You know?
Didn't fall through.
Yeah. Jeez, yeah, man. I've been watching a lot of movies lately. What do you think? Here's a good question. When you were growing up, like, what were some of your favorite movies, like going to the theater to see, that kind of stuff?
Oh, God. I mean, the one that comes to mind automatically, I don't even know what years. I know as a teenager, and I know I lived in Kirkland. I was fairly young, but Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie came out.
That is so hilarious. That's the first movie.
I went and saw it 4 times in the theater.
That's
I think
the
it might have
first
been,
movie I ever saw as a kid. My dad took me to go see it. That's hilarious. Like 1989, I think.
Yeah. It was 1989?
Yeah.
Okay, so in 1989, I was 13 years old.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was at that age where I was like, I want to go see it. And I went and saw it with my friends like 4, 5, 6 times. It was, I love that movie.
I haven't watched those movies in so long. I used to watch all of them. The second one had Vanilla Ice in it. You know?
I don't even remember. Okay, no, I do think I have seen the second one, but I don't
The
remember
third one
much
wasn't very good, but yeah. No, man, I used to watch the cartoons and stuff.
Okay, so honestly, most of the movies I saw back in that day, because I saw some movies in the theater, you know what I mean? We went and saw some, but most of the movies I saw when I was like in my young teenage days were at the drive-in theater.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I got a story about that we can talk about too.
Outside of Aberdeen.
Yeah.
But I barely remember the movies.
Was this Hump Tulips or is this Aberdeen?
Well, Hump Tulips is a small little town about 24 miles outside of Aberdeen.
Okay, 24. Okay.
So, but it's out in the middle of the woods. So Aberdeen is literally the closest thing to Hump Tulips as far as that. The drive-in was in Central Park, which is just like as you're leaving Aberdeen, it's a little area.
Yeah.
But they had no rules back then. Like, you didn't have to stay in your car. Like, now if you go to a drive-in, you have to stay in your car and you can't go play around.
Yeah.
This was back in the day where they had the the playground up front in front of the movie theater, and all the kids would play there. You could load the car up with people, and I mean, there was plenty of times, that we had a blanket down next to the car on each side, and just couples on each.
Oh, wow.
There was definitely
There was some rowdy roughhousing going on.
There was definitely some
hanky-panky.
Well, back in that, we're talking about 13, 14, so
Yeah.
nothing too bad happened, but there was definitely some tight jeans fingering.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Where
Yeah.
the jeans didn't go, so you had to slide your hand like all the way down and then get around.
Yeah.
So I do remember that, but I don't remember the movies we saw there.
Yeah.
But I do remember that.
My dad told me when he was in high school, this is like 70s, right outside of the town we grew up in, they had a drive-in that showed adult movies. And when you drove down the theater, you could see what was going on the screen sometimes.
Oh, that'd be funny if they had the radio tune in
I
back
know,
then
right?
too.
You're like just flipping like, well, I never heard this song before. I recently, the Memorial Day, me and my family, we went to Whitby. The big thing is my kids never been to a drive-in. They have a drive-in on Whitby right outside of Oak Harbor. It's one screen, and it's very old school. It's like, it looks like it's on a farm, but it's been there forever. It's been there since the 70s.
Okay.
And they have an old school snack bar. They have a go-kart track.
I love a go-kart track.
They have
I
arcade.
love a go-kart track.
I've never been there before, but we were going to go. Memorial Day, I was like, man, it's going to be pretty busy. You know, Lilo and Stitch and the new Mission Impossible. Those are the movies
that's a cool double feature.
But however, you know, and they open up at 4 p.m. You know, the movies don't start till it gets dark. So it was like, probably wouldn't have started till like 9 o'clock. We got there about 7. The whole place was packed. They're like, we got one spot left. We're like, really?
Like
All
back
right.
corner.
And we went to go park, and it was like in front of. No, it was behind a fence. The go-kart track was on.
Oh,
so you
okay.
would have had to watch the movie through. I was like, yeah, we're not gonna pay $25-$50 to watch this. You know?
No, you gotta get there early for that.
And my kid was so disappointed.
I think
but
there's
like,
one down in Renton still.
Renton, huh?
I think there's Renton, Auburnish area.
To this day, I still haven't been to a drive-in. You know,
There's so much fun.
yeah.
There's so much fun.
But that
Drive-in
place,
is
it
fun.
looks cool. I'm gonna have to go like on a non-holiday weekend.
Yeah. Well, and especially depending on what kind of vehicle you have.
Yeah.
If you have a truck and you park backwards and throw a mattress like blankets and everything in the back, that's super cozy. It's fun.
Who has a truck these days? Most of these comics, they take Uber everywhere. Jeez.
I recently started taking the train, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
tr-
with the
you
divorce,
mean the
I'm gonna
light
be
rail?
broke, so I figure like I might as well. I'm getting used to it. No, the monorail is actually pretty cool. It runs from Lenwood, or I think north of Lenwood.
No, that's
from Lenwood through Northgate, right? It just drops off right
that's
by
the light rail.
The light rail, yeah.
The monorail is
Oh.
in Seattle. That's just
Okay,
that
the light
little.
rail. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm new at it. Sorry.
Well, that's they just
But the
opened
light
up
rail,
that
yeah.
Linwood station like a year ago.
And it
you
drops
know?
you off right by ECC.
Yeah.
Like literally right by
Oh,
ACC.
nice, yeah.
So I can go from 196 to Lenwood, where I live up there. By
Me and Nick
I can
Cody rode the
drop down.
light rail one time,
I like
or a
it.
couple times.
It's pretty cool.
It feels. I've never ridden the bus.
Yeah.
You know, sorry to shock everybody, but it feels like it's safer than the bus. You know, it feels like
Yeah.
there's just more. I mean, there's still some people, but again, who's gonna mess with us? We're strong white American males.
Not easy pickings. Nope. Not easy pickings for sure.
Well, I got things have been pretty busy for me. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure I'm still hanging in there. I mean, like I said, we did the audition, sent my dates to Rick or Club Comedy. You know, just
Well, yeah, and that's
and you know, and it's like I'm not taking anything personal. It's just I'll just continue to do it and continue to work on the stuff, and then I have a pretty good video from my last set. Now I want to make a 10-minute set that has the same amount of crowd reaction. You know?
Yeah.
So you should check out On the Mic Comedy. I don't know if you follow them, but there's some people that Do you remember Open Mic Collective?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was like Allison Fine, a couple other people.
Yeah.
They were putting on these open mics down south in like Olympia, Spud's Pizza in Tacoma. Well, there's some people up in Seattle kind of doing the same thing now. It's like this girl Kylie Ann and Keon Larry's part of it, I think.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I love Keon. Shout out to Keon.
yeah, Keon.
He's a good guy.
But what I was gonna say is they are putting on open mics at different spots in Seattle.
Okay.
I did one the other night at a place called Kangaroo and Kiwi, or actually no, sorry, that I said
I've
that,
seen that
this
online
is
before.
This is the second time I did Kangaroo and Kiwi has nothing to do with those people, but they did one at the Hereafter in
I've been there, yeah.
at the Crocodile. They do one. I'm doing a roast thing in Fremont somewhere that they're putting on at the end of the month.
Yeah.
And they're putting on open mics at like in Tacoma. So they do.
I should start following them.
Yeah, and you could sign up online so you could see if you got a spot ahead of
that's
time.
one of the things I'm going to be doing with my new Apple Watch is I'm going to be using the calendar.
Yeah.
Unlike anything before, like I've never really used a calendar to like remind myself stuff. I've always had a written calendar on my wall. I'm going to really start getting into that. Like, hey, remind me to sign up for this comedy club on this date.
Yeah.
So the 20th or whatever, like for the TCC, might want to set a reminder for the 20th. Make sure your tape's in. That kind of thing. I think I'll get a lot more stuff if I have reminders.
Yeah,
to
for
send
sure.
everything in.
Yeah.
Because so much shit to apply for, really.
Yeah, it's so tough to
reply
manage all the
consistently.
stuff. But I do want to tell you about this other one.
Okay.
Comedy Battle Royale. Did it the other night. This is not on the mic people. This is different people. I forget the guy's name who puts it on. I think his name is Chris, but
Okay.
Marie Elizabeth is part of this thing. So we know Marie. Great.
Yeah.
So I went to, it's called the Kangaroo and Kiwi. It's over in Ballard, on one of those busy streets.
Yeah.
And it's a little tiny bar. It's about half the size of this place. Definitely Australian themed.
Okay.
It's like, Kiwi, Kangaroo. And they had the comedy show in this little tiny room. This tiny room. But they had probably like 15 to 20 tables, people packed in there eating dinner, drinking. And it was the perfect.
Nice.
I've never been to an open mic, or I've never been to a place outside of a comedy club that had that kind of an audience. Like
Yeah.
that, these guys were so good. They were laughing. Nick Cody was there.
Is that going to be a regular thing? for
Yeah,
them?
it's a regular thing. They've been doing it every week, so check
Really?
them out.
What day is that?
It's on Thursday. I was
on
there,
Thursday?
I think last week, actually. I think it was last Thursday. That's
But
why
I
wasn't
love going to the Whiskey Mile
here.
every
Well,
Thursday. So I
we
might have
take
to hit that
turns.
way.
We take turns,
Yeah. I like it better.
Jordan's working right now. Sorry, Jordan. But gotta make that money. So, but yeah, man, it was a really fun room. So definitely check them out because I got a really good video out of it, and I posted it on Reddit. So Reddit has a subreddit called like Stand Up or Stand Up Comedy. Got 14,000 views,
Wow, that's pretty good, dude.
and it's like, look, there's people that have had a lot more views on like their podcast clips and stuff, but it makes me feel good to know that even if they saw like 2 seconds of it, that at least it was my comedy and not just like a podcast clip. It was actually stuff that worked out. And I got a couple comments on it. I got some DMs, 2,000 views on Instagram. So, and what does that really mean? It doesn't really mean anything. What it means is 2,000 people looked at it and flipped right through it. But still, you just never know.
It's something.
There could be one person that liked it, followed you, and that's all worth it,
Yeah. Well, I mean, as far as we're told on the news and on social media means everything.
Sometimes, yeah, I don't know.
Until you put your phone down. So my phone broke, and I was out without a phone for like a week.
Yeah.
And
it's weird. It's really weird.
Yeah, it was weird.
It takes a couple days, but then you just forget about it.
yeah, it wasn't bad. Like
I've been in places where
I reached for it a number of times when it wasn't there, but
I go up to
I enjoyed it.
I go up to Mount Vernon sometimes for work, and the company has this complex in like a wooded area, and it's like there is no service out there, and it's like, yeah, it's kind of freeing a little bit, not to be looking at my phone every 5 minutes. I know that I can look at it, but nothing's gonna pop up, so who cares? But I don't know, man. I feel like even though things are tough, you still got your buddies, you still got your friends, you still got comedy. You're always positive. You always got a positive outlook.
Yeah, as far as that goes,
Yeah.
I'm literally going into a different phase of my life, and that's how I'm looking at it.
And one of the things I like about you is that you have a silliness to you, and that's what I like. There's a lot of these comics that we know that are, besides we all have our own demons and stuff like that, but some of them, they are just not. They just don't like the silliness. They don't embrace it. They just want to do their comedy.
There's some bitter people out there.
And stuff like that. But, it's fun to goof around, say some funny shit, I just go back to, SNL. I used to love SNL as a kid. So Chris
Mm-hmm.
Farley, Adam Sandler, all those guys, Rob Schneider. I loved that before I loved stand-up. So that's
Yeah,
kinda what I
and
always
from
go
all
back
the
to that.
stories, they were
Yeah.
always goofing around offset.
Yeah.
So, and that's the fun. I would like to. I do want to get into doing more like skits and stuff, video recorded
Yeah.
skits.
I
Like
do
Juggalo
have a-
Jake
I have
and
some
Juggalo
idea.
Jake. I did some stuff with
Yeah.
them and Scott Coburn. I did some stuff with them, and I like doing that stuff. But joking around on set, like off the camera, is fun for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I would love to do more video type.
need a
I
beer.
have some ideas. I always have ideas. I used to be the guy that had a million ideas and just could never execute all of them. I was
Yeah.
always moving on to the next thing. I've kind
It's
of
called
taken
ADHD.
Yeah, yeah.
Or ADHD. Or
I
whatever.
kind of taken a step back and trying to focus more on like 2 or 3 things.
Yeah.
Comedy, podcast. I want to do some more music stuff. I haven't really. It just don't have the time. But yeah, man, for sure. I want to. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing with people that come with a lot of ideas. It's
Yeah.
hard to
Oh, the skits.
grab
That's
one
what I
and stick
meant.
to them.
It's
So
like
are you
the
starting to do skits or
no? But
right.
I'm finally. I think. I guess everything that I approach is like, how can I do this without? How can I do this the easiest way, without taking away from these other things?
Makes
and
sense.
So I want to get a green screen.
a what?
A green screen.
Oh yeah.
Because I have editing software, and a green screen you can pretty much take anywhere. I could do multiple characters in one film. We could do like stuff where we're in,
I have a green
other
screen
places.
hanging up behind my stage in my downstairs.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I have a green. There's
Yeah.
it's usually mirrors, but I have a green screen. We can
But
drop if you want
like
to do stuff.
Shane Gillis, right? One
Yeah.
of the biggest comics in the world. He has some of the funniest sketches on the internet. He's got the Trump speed dating. He has the OnlyFans dad. And then he's doing his show Tires now on
The
Netflix.
Tires is hilarious.
And it's like, it's just another way
I
of,
watched an episode of that today.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's great. But it's just another way of being funny and getting your stuff out there,
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of, I don't think the next step, but I think if you have the desire to do it, it'll only enhance your stand-up, I
Yeah.
think, and
Yeah, just give you more experience.
And I'm excited to do it.
Acting out jokes is fun too. Yeah.
Here's some of my ideas I want to do.
Yeah.
If you guys want to copy them, go ahead, but it's not going to be as good as mine. So I want to do something called the iPhone tariff, where it's like
Okay.
the new iPhone, but it's so expensive, you got to give up your child for it and that kind of stuff.
I understand.
I want to do a sketch where me and Rob are white rappers who are rivals.
I could
so we
see
keep
that.
doing diss tracks against each other. I'd love to do something like that. I'd also like to do a thing with Nick Cody where he's like I don't know, like an old boxer or something like that, and I'm like his coach trying to get him back into shape.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
that'd be kind of fun. I talked about this the other night, but this is like for sure not even a sketch, but this is just a show I want to do. I want to do at a comedy club, like a late night talk show type thing, like a Conan O'Brien, Jay Leno. Put a desk on the stage. I come out. I do my funny thing. And then I have comics like Adam Tiller, Jay Marks,
Yeah.
I don't know who else. Who's a good
You can
pool?
actually set it up.
Mike
Yeah.
Heath.
Yeah.
I don't know. How
Yeah,
about a girl?
Keon, yeah.
Who's a girl? Let's say a girl. AJ Norris.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. Is she not?
Jessica,
Is
there's
it
a bunch
non-bi?
of them.
I don't know. Anybody. Have them come on stage and interview, joke around, do little sketches in between, and then
It'd be fun
Robbie
to do a little
Schrader.
variety show.
And then I want Robbie Schrader to be part of it, but he'll be like a producer who's always coming out and telling me I'm going over time and like getting mad at everything.
He's always doing. He's
Yeah.
always got the microphone.
Yeah, exactly.
On. Yeah, and I can
He's
totally
like,
see
and
Robbie
a
doing that.
clipboard and
I can
stuff
totally
like
see Robbie
that.
doing that. Yeah.
And so I would love to do that. The Stephen Michael James show or late night with Stephen Michael James. Film a couple episodes and then sell it to Netflix.
Dude, that's
What
awesome.
do you
dude.
think? Let's do it.
I got a couple good areas that I think we could do.
Do you have
some
any
of those
sketches? You have any ideas for a sketch? You could do a good real estate. I think like
dude, I got a couple.
selling shitty houses.
Dude, we
You know,
could do so many.
We could do
with the real estate market how it is right now. We could do some funny skits
making
about.
fun of like the HGTV and stuff like that. You could be like I could be like a potential buyer, and you could be like showing me like the shittiest home and just playing everything up. You know?
Yeah. This is $3.2 million.
Yeah, it's like.
No, you
ever heard of
you train birds to eat worms upside down. That's what your profession is. Okay.
You heard of Unsellable Houses?
Unsellable houses.
Yeah. It's a show on HGTV.
No,
There's a couple
I
of
didn't watch that
girls that live in the Seattle, Snohomish area, and they fix up houses.
No shit.
Yeah.
Really?
It's on HGTV.
What's it called?
Unsellable Houses.
Unsellable houses.
It's two girls. They're like twin sisters. And yeah, they've had houses in Snohomish and Seattle, and
That's
you
cool.
should check it out, man.
I like watching local shows like that.
You should collaborate with them, man.
Yeah.
The girls, Unsellable Houses, JKT, put them together. They do a lot of weird.
Selling the unsellable.
They do a lot of.
Yeah.
I don't even know how. I mean, I would love to see the behind the scenes of those shows, because they talk about like, oh yeah, we're gonna buy this house for $415. We're gonna put $85,000 into it, and we're gonna sell it for $750.
Yeah. None of those numbers, none of the numbers on those shows ever add up, right? You know what I mean? They're like, it's like the millionaire real estate agent and everything like that. Like, there's a lot of those where like, oh, this is what's happening, and if you know anything about it, you're like, nope, that's not happening.
What do you think is the most expensive house you ever sold?
Oh, that's easy. As an agent, you know that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Was it 2 years ago? It took me a while to break my $1 million cherry, but I broke my $1 million cherry 2 years ago, and it was $1.2 million.
Nice.
Was the biggest.
Where was it at?
Contractor. Just up in Snohomish.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, that's nice.
I mean, it was a nice house. It was 5 acres, or 4 point some acres, I think. In a nice house.
5 acres.
Yeah. 5 acres.
That's a lot these days.
I love 5 acres. 5 acres. If it's designed right, you don't hear your neighbors.
Yeah.
They don't hear me. But no, it was a nice house. It was for a buddy of mine.
Yeah.
I helped him sell his. I was gonna help him sell his house, but
yeah, man. It's one I've learned about Washington is like, especially working in the garage door and going to different places. There are so many like hidden neighborhoods, man. There's so many gated neighborhoods in the middle of like, you'll be going down some country highway and then there's a gate to like a extremely nice all $1 million house. And in Granite Falls, everybody, like when I first moved to Granite Falls, they were like, oh, that's, was the meth capital of Washington for a few years. And it's a lot of hillbillies up there,
that's
bikers.
Aberdeen,
but it's like, nah, man, there is many $1 million.
I've done a couple deals in Granite Falls.
There's a gated community with an airport, like 5 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
And every house has there's like I want to say a landing strip. Is that what it is? I don't know.
Depends on if the fiance.
There's a runway that goes to everybody's house that's right next to the road for cars. Yeah.
I've been to that airport.
So it's pretty wild.
Well, that's one of the coolest things about real estate as a job. Like, there's a lot of hard things and whatnot, and it's commission based, so you don't know 100% if a check's coming or whatever. But one thing that excites me is every road I drive down, I'm like, okay, well, that's a job. That's a potential job everywhere. Like, every single house you drive by is a potential job. You know what I mean? And they're endless. Like you're saying, there's everywhere you go, there's hidden neighborhoods. And, it's funny, there's actually between Bothell and Renton, there's not a lot of houses that are under $1 million.
Yeah. Absolutely.
For realistically, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I've given up on being able to afford living there. I'm trying. I don't think we'll be moving for quite a while, but I would love to live in Mill Creek or like South Everett. I think that's a perfect location because you're just far enough. I like living north of Seattle. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's just south of Seattle for me. It just feels like it's just not as beautiful. There's just everybody's more compact.
All my ghetto friends live in South Seattle though, so
I feel like there's more poverty, like especially in like Burien and stuff like that. But like Marysville, I'm not saying Marysville's nice or anything, but it just feels like there's less crime and things like that up there. So I love living north of Seattle.
More yuppies up north and more just like down to earth regular people down south.
But I like
until you get up to Marysville.
I want to be closer to Seattle, man, because it takes me an hour to get there. So So I would love to live like that. Would be like a nice 35-minute drive. You know?
I'm probably gonna have to rent out my downstairs at some point, man.
Danny, Trevor,
So,
John.
He might, Danny. He might be living in my downstairs.
Yeah.
He stayed with me
here
for a month.
the summer.
Here
Here for the summer.
Or when he
That's what he says.
rehomed himself from Hawaii. Dude, I don't know how you do that. How you rehome yourself from Hawaii? Hawaii.
I don't. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. I want to get him on the podcast. Haven't talked to him for a while, and he was here. He was here a few weeks ago when I did the mic here, and yeah, man, he was one of the first guys I met in comedy. You know.
Oh yeah.
Him and Nick Cody, they were the one. I didn't even smoke weed when I started comedy. And these freaking guys, would you like a joint? Like little devils, you know. Just they're like, you know how like you got the angel and the devil on both shoulders. These were just devil and devil.
Little
they were just like, come on, you know. So. Good times.
He might be going to Skankfest with me.
Yeah, no, you're talking about, that'll be awesome, man.
Whoever was the host wants to go, too. It's kind of an open comedy trip.
There you go. Well, man, I think what we've learned today is things are good.
Have we learned anything today?
Things are good.
Things are good.
We're getting there. And you are going to you're on the path just like me, man. Just We're comedy. What do you call them?
Comedy Simps?
No, Comedy Simps for sure. I was gonna say journeymen. We are the journeymen of comedy right now. We're still at that open mic level. Sometimes getting opportunities at clubs, sometimes not. But I have high hopes for both of us. I think there's some good stuff coming up in our future, and I'm excited for you to Skankfest.
Well, it's two things I know. I know I'll always be doing real estate for the rest of my life and comedy. Comedy and real estate is something I'm just going to do for the rest of my life. Regardless of what happens with it, it's going to be good.
And I'm not in a rush to go to Austin, Texas, but I think next time you want to go to Austin, man, I think I need to go this time.
It'd be fun.
You know, I
hit up the mothership at least once or twice. And
all right, comedy sign up. Nice. All right. Well, man, been an hour and 11 minutes. No, and we finally got another comic that showed up. So,
yeah.
Any last words you want us to? Anything coming up for you that you want to talk about?
No big shows, but I'll be out there. You guys will see me at the Tacoma Comedy Club and the downtown Seattle ones, and I'll be out there doing it.
Nice.
And then there will be a big divorce party at the end of the summer.
Wow. So, maybe we'll be there, huh? Maybe we'll do a. You know, I'm really, talking about all these different ideas I have. One thing I really I'm thinking about doing is maybe like a kind of behind the scenes type series, and film it with my camera instead of my phone to give it a different look, give it more of a cinematic look. I was thinking about doing something like not like a vlog, because that's a lot of work, but maybe like something that's like 4 episodes or 8 episodes.
Little mini series behind the comedy in Seattle.
Where it's like where we're hanging out at the mics and the shows, going to your house, for the party, going to roasting Andy Harder, all that kind of, like doing all, like I want to do Comedy Simp. Seattle doesn't even have an NBA team. Isn't that wild?
I didn't know there was a J booth at the Whiskey Mile.
Is this I don't even know. Is this college? It says ESPN. Oh, it's NBA. No, see, I don't even know. I'm not a sports athlete.
I don't watch enough baseball or basketball enough baseball. I watch enough baseball to know who's shooting hoops.
I'm from Sacramento. I'm a Kings fan. Everything that I say means nothing because they're not a good team. But yeah, man, this. I want to do some sort of a series. So I'm kind of toying with that. So I might be. We'll see.
I'm down to collaborate and do whatever, man. Help
do
out.
Some sort of behind the scenes stuff, and then got some shows coming up. Boom! The 14th at Peace of Mind in Linwood. We're doing Tapped Out Comedy. I'm going to be hosting that.
Yeah, Nick Cody's deal.
Nick Cody.
He's been doing well
Juggalo
with that. Shout out to Nick. You've been doing good.
Erica. A lot of good people there. At the end of the month, I'm doing that roast meat competition at the, I can't even remember the name of the bar, but it's like the George and Dragon in Fremont.
Okay, haven't heard of that one.
I'll be at Tacoma Comedy Club open mics at the last week of the month, so the 23rd and the 25th, and then big show coming up on August 23rd at Tacoma Comedy Club with some buddies. So I'm really excited and doing more podcasts and Maybe just maybe we'll finally get Adam Tiller on the podcast.
Hopefully, dude.
You
I
know?
hope it.
Yeah,
I think he'd do good. I think
I've
it'd be a
seen
good
him
interview.
every night. I've seen him so much recently. And shout out to Adam. Thank you for walking me to my car. You made that walk so much more. I felt safer because you're so muscular. And also thanks for the chat, bud. And shout out to Quinn. I saw Quinn the other night. I was like, hey, Quinn. He was walking. I was in my car. I rolled down the window. Hey, Quinn. Quinn Fitzgerald. He goes, oh, hey, man. I said, hey, you going to the club? He's like, no, I'm going to QFC. I was like, nice. And that was it. So shout out to Quinn. You could see those guys at Tony V's every Monday.
I saw them just a couple Mondays ago.
Follow Jakey T at Jakey D Comedy, me at Stephen MJ Comedy, Sam's Open Mic Comedy. Sign up every week. Jordan
Thursdays at the
Macias
Whiskey
is
Mile.
here. The Whiskey Mile. All sorts of stuff going on. Jakey T. One more thing to close us out. Give us a words of wisdom.
Words of wisdom. Oh, man. Oh, I don't know. Right off the top of my head, I got so many different things with the divorce going on.
I know.
Words of wisdom. You get what you put into it. If
That's
you want to
it.
be part of it, be part of it.
Absolutely. It goes for comedy. That goes for
Let's
life.
go for everything in life.
And that goes for food.
Show up.
That's
there.
it. All right, thanks.
Comedy Simp, the podcast you can't resist. Stephen Michael James, the host you won't wanna miss. From Seattle to the world, his humor will persist. Join the fun, get ready to enlist. Spitting fire.